Well, since it's Wednesday and there's nothing happening, why not review some interesting match events that already have happened, but also one that already took place? I'm talking about New Japan Pro Wrestling heading to the UK for Royal Quest 2 for 2 nights. I'm so excited to review this. And also, we got some interesting stuff coming from Stardom. First is going to be their event that took place in Tottori, where, of course, as you know, Black Desire are now in the running to challenge for the Goddesses tag titles on November 3rd, so it's being built up for that. But also, there is a one match event that took place, which was an outdoor event that Stardom roster members, consisted mostly from Stars and Cosmic Angels, participated. And then, of course, the new recent event, New Blood 5. We're going to see who is new, what new things we're going to see in this particular. And of course, we cannot forget some news updates, what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, let's begin with New Japan Pro Wrestling Royal Quest 2, night 1 on the 1st of October. So it's been a while. I finally catched up because I waited until they uploaded on watchprowrestling.org. Now it opened up with Dan Maloney, who I've seen him a few times on RevPro and of course NXT UK, and then of course TNT Extreme Wrestling. He takes on Gabriel Kidd. I thought the match was pretty good. I have a great opener, but it was of course Gabriel Kidd who is now stepping in his own way by applying the pile driver on Dan Maloney, giving him a good win. Next up, we got tag team action. We got Michael Oku teaming up with Ricky Knight Jr. If you guys know who that is um, Soraya's nephew. That's right, and the son of Roy Knight. They take on against the members of United Empire, Gideon Gray, the Great O'Connor, along with a member of the who's being tagged along is Lucian Williams from the Legion, another group that Gideon Gray's involved. I thought this match was good because it showed, how much these guys are very talented, these two individuals. But however, it was, of course, the Good Night driver onto Ricky Knight to Gray, and that kind of sealed the deal for them. And as you know, Ricky Knight Jr. was the one who dethroned Will Ospreay for the Ref Pro undisputed British heavyweight title. So that's a good thing for him. Next up, we got ladies action. We got Alex Windsor teaming up with Ava White, one of the competitors in the international bracket for the IWGP Women's title. They take on Kanji and Jazzy Gilbert. Now, if you guys know her, Jazzy Gilbert is known as Alpha Female, and she is the second World of Stardom champion, aka the Red Belt champion, and she also will be participating in the IWGP um, Women's title tournament, but also will be having a match against Mayu Iwatani since there's a bit of history between them. But the match was pretty good, but it was the GTF by Alex Windsor onto Kanji that picked up the win. I thought it was a pretty good one. I liked the dynamics between Windsor and White, but the obvious question is, who will walk out the following day between Ava and Jazzy Gilbert? We'll find out. Next up, we got the members of Suzuki Gun, Doiki, El Desperado, and Zack Sabre Jr. to take on Los Ingorbenables de Japón, LIJ, Hiromu Takahashi, Sanada, and Naito. Now, keep in mind, Naito and Zack Sabre Jr. will be in the match the following day to determine who will be the one, the challenge for the IWGP United States Championship. But it was a pretty good match. But however, it took a while till, of course, it was Naito who put out Destino onto Doiki that gave him the win, and of course, he has a steer clear to win the this title. Now, our next match, we have Bad Dude Tito teaming up with another member of the Knight family, and also this is Zack Knight, also known as Zack Zodiac. He is the brother of Soraya, as you know. He was a last-minute replacement. Originally, was supposed to be Jonah in this match with Bad Dude Tito, but due to his home in South Florida, due to the Hurricane Ian that took place, he was unable to make it. But this was a golden opportunity for Zack Knight to actually be part of it. I thought he did pretty well. But what I did like about this match is how Zack Knight stood toe to toe against a guy like Tomohiro Ishii. Ishii is a big dude, and you know how it is. But this guy, he stood right next tall against him. But that wasn't enough because it was the vertical brainbuster by Ishii to Zack that sealed the deal for him. But however, the following day we were supposed to have Tomohiro Ishii versus Jonah. Apparently his replacement was none other than Yoda Tsuji, someone that we seen at the LA Dojo, recently just joined the Legion, so that will be taking place. Next up, we got Hiroshi Tanahashi teaming up with the members of God, Hikuleo, Yado, and Tamatanga to take on the Bullet Club, consistent of the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows, and Carl Anderson, along with Ghetto and Jay White. Now, as you know, this is a story right building up before, of course, Tama had to defeat will be challenging for the IWGP World Heavyweight Title against Jay White, but it was um, Tanahashi that picked up the win with the high five flow onto Ghetto to give him the victory. So it was a direct message saying they'll be coming for the title. Uh, Next up, we got a very interesting match. We have Shota Umino versus Will Ospreay. Now, this is another thing that goes on. The referee of the night is none other than Shooter's father, Red Shoes. Now, I don't know what was the purpose of it, but he was being a bit biased, so that I can count. But Shota really took matters in his own hands the way he did it. I mean, he did a fantastic job, but however, he was already knocked cold. Will Ospreay had it was like right there in the back of the neck. Already Shota Umino was already out of conscious, but Red Shoes had to call the match. It was over. Now there was a lot of controversy over the fact about that he did it as a concerned father. Who knows how it exactly did it? But the problem is he was already out. There was nothing he could do. But that's how it is. But of course, Will Ospreay does have his issues towards Red Shoes. Now our next match is the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team titles. We have Aussie Open versus FTR. I thought this effing match was so great. I loved it. I mean, they pulled every stop that they possibly could for Aussie Open to ensure they win, and then of course FTR trying to kick out, make sure the match goes in their way. Aussie Open tried to use the big rig on them in order to think that could work, but it did not. But it was the big rig onto Davis by FTR that sealed the deal for them in order to retain the titles. But they did try to show respect to Aussie Open, but however, Great Khan, who he and Jeff Cobb are the next challengers, the challenge for the IWGP titles, these tag titles. So we'll see what happens then. So I think that's pretty much it with Night 1. I believe it's time for Night 2. Okay, Night 2 opened up with Robbie X and Michael Oku taking on Suzuki-gun members Doiki and El Desperado. Now, you probably would guess this particular match. Now, I somehow these guys, Oku and Robbie, were able to figure out what moves was Desperado was going to do. But apparently, we all thought he could do Pinchi Loco or Dos. However, that did not fit in well. Desperado applied Escalera onto Robbie X, he did not anticipate that move. That's a rare move that, of course, according to Chris Carlton, that Despy hardly uses that. I have to say it was a smart move and I liked it. So a good win. Next up, we got more tag team action. We got the Young Guns, consistent of Ethan Allen and Luke Jacobs, who is the current uh, undisputed British Cruiserweight Champion, taking on LIJ's Hiromu Takahashi and Sanada. Now, this match, I thought it was a pretty good one too, due to the fact you got two of the toughest SOBs in the UK. I'm talking about the Young Guns, but however, it was the Skull End by Sanada that picked up the victory when he submitted Ethan Allen, and boom, it was over right from there. Now, our next match is of the IWGP Women's Championship Tournament opening round between Jazzy Gilbert and Ava White. I thought this match was really interesting, but however, I don't know much about them. I know that Jazzy, a few things about her. You know, she competed in the Mae Young Classic, but what she did in the end, how to win this one. This was a one of those matches like, okay, who's going to deserve it more? But it was Jazzy Gilbert who pays homage to Antonio Inoki with the Inoki Flex that picked up the winning match onto Ava White, and now she proceeds to face Kyrie in on October 23rd. So that's what we got, and we'll see how that plays out. Now, our next match, we have a 5-on-5 tag team match. We have Ricky Knight Jr., Gabriel Kidd, and Shota Umino to take, along with FTR, to take on the members of the United Empire. That Weasel Gray, Gideon Gray, Aussie Open, Davis and Fletcher, Khan, and Will Ospreay. But however, now this was a very turmoil. This was out of I lost proposal. Not to mention, cannot forget FTR defended these titles against Aussie Open. But in this particular match, we saw Grado Khan, who picked up the win with the Dominator onto Ricky Knight Jr. Looks more likely that he could possibly be the next challenger for that title. So we'll see what takes place. Next up, we have Hiroshi Tanahashi, along with GOD members Hikuleo and Tamatanga, alongside with Yato, taking on the Bullet Club, the Good Brothers, Anderson and Gallows, and Jay White, along with Ghetto. Now, this match, you probably would have guessed it would have been a lot more simpler. As you know, Jay White doesn't want nothing to do with Tama, but it did. But in this particular night, it was 2 nights in a row that that Tanahashi and God won. But this time, it was done by, of course, Tamatonga with the gun stun onto Gallows that sealed the deal. But however, because of that, they're sending a direct message saying that they will be coming for both their titles, for the Never Openweight title and the IWGP World title. So that is something we definitely are looking forward to it. Next up, we got Bad Dude Tito taking on Kaguchika Okada. This will be an interesting opportunity for Bad Dude Tito to show what he can do, and not to mention to take on a tough individual like Okada. But however, hopefully Jonah's watching. But Bad Dude Tito received the wrong end of the Rainmaker that kind of sealed the deal for him to win the match, and I'm sure it's a direct message to Jonah by Kaguchika Okada. Next up, we got Yota Tsuji taking on Tomohiro Ishii. Now, Tsuji, as you know, he had dealt with Ishii in the past, but now he's trying to act like he's all grown up and all this other stuff. And of course, he is one of the members of the Legion, but it was, of course, the Brain Buster by Ishii that sealed the deal for him to pick up a good win. Then finally, we got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Naito. Now, seems like everybody are cheering for Naito, but however, you know for a fact that in every possible way, Zack Sabre would try to counter every move that Naito has in his arsenal, but he has to play smarter. So basically, he has to look for ways to apply Destino, which is the main weapon that usually allows him to win, but this time it took him at least twice to figure it out, and it was already over. Zack Sabre Jr. is out, so that means Naito may have a steer clear moment for the IWGP United States title. So that is something we definitely got to be paying attention for, but that's going to take place later on. So I think that's pretty much it right now with New Japan Pro Wrestling Night 2 of Royal Quest 2. So, let's move on with Stardom. Okay, Stardom in Tottori. This one took place on the 12th of October. It opened up with Mina Shirakawa taking on Lady C. Now, these two ladies are no strangers to each other, despite the fact that they're both in two different units. Mina with Cosmic Angels, Lady C with Queen's Quest. However, this is another match for Mina Shirakawa to build up momentum for her big match on November 3rd for the at the Hiroshima Goddess Festival against Saya Kamitani. However, as you know, Lady C is teammates with Kamitani. I'm sure that Lady C will be a message to Kamitani to show her, do not take this lightly. Now, keep in mind, I did mention this before. Many people thought that Mina it was weak, but now this one is also in the direct miss. Not to mention, she applied the figure four leg lock as she always did, allowing for Lady C to tap out, giving Mina the win. Next up, we got Ruka versus Utami Hayashida. You probably can guess this one is a big time where we have a big powerhouse woman versus a strong competitor who's been the red belt champion. But however, it was the German suplex by um, Utami Ashida that sealed the deal for her to win. So good job. Next up, we got DDM members Mai Sakurai and Julia taking on the former Goddesses Tag Champions and last year's winners of the Goddesses Tag League. We're talking about FWC, Koguma, and Azuki. I thought this match was pretty well. Now, these two teams have fought each other before. Now, this is before FWC lost the titles. I think they might have they challenged these titles a while back, a few months back, but FWC came up talk thanks to Koguma. But once again, the history repeated itself with Koguma with the this time repeat itself, but this time it was Azuki with the senton bomb onto Masakurai, allowing for FWC to pick up the win. So basically, this is the second time that they lost to them. But yeah. Now the other members of DDM, we got Maika and Himika taking on Queen's Quest, Azumi, and Saya Kamitani. Now the Kamitani and Azuki have, Himika and Maika are two of the strongest competitors in DDM, but they were able to pick up the victory. But it was Maika, in the other hand, with the Enka Otoshi onto Azumi that picked up the victory on this night. Next up, we have star members Momokogo, Saya Ida, and Mayu Iwatani to take on God's Eye, Misuri, Mirai, and Suri. Now, this is one of those matches where, of course, anything could change. However, God's Eye has proven how strong they have become over time. But in this case, it was Mirai who picked up the win with the Mirror Mare onto, what's her name? Onto, Momokogo, and she had no other choice but to tap out once again. Now, our main event, we have Oda Time members Saki Kashima, Starlight Kid, and Momo Watanabe to take on Cosmic Angels, Waka Tsukiyama, Natsupoi, and Tanaka. Now, keep in mind, Kid and Momo will be challenging for the Goddesses tag titles on November 3rd. So this is a match where to pick up the victory. You know that's how it's going to roll. But in this particular match, it was Kashima who picked up the win onto Waka, but she did not apply the Kisisasai, whatever she calls it. It was just a regular win, and it was done just like that. But of course, during her promo, as you know, they're looking forward to become double champion. So that is something they're going to be looking forward to it. But yet, we still don't know who will be challenging for the artist belts. We know they called out Neo Stardom Army, and of course Prominence. So we'll see what happens then. So let's move on to the next event, which is a one-night match. I believe that is called "I Love You More." Okay, Stardom, "I Love You More." This was an outdoor event that took place. There were other wrestlers, but this one was more important because it had the Cosmic Angels involved, and so was Stars. The only members involved for Cosmic Angels was Mina and Waka Tsukiyama, and they take on Momokogo and Koguma. Now, the match would have started great, but however, it appears that Koguma, as you know, there's the latest edition involving a very nice Gravenu pictures of Mina Shirakawa, so she decided to explore to find out what's the fuzz all about. Now, Mina tried to oppose, but once again, this happens every single time. Why would you try to play games with the dang bear? That's the problem. I mean, Onagi wouldn't play games. She would definitely chase the bear if she had given the chance. But the match was okay. It was decent, but it was a lot different. Now, I cannot recall any moments where I seen Stardom having events outside of the respective promotion, but it was good. But they were able to isolate Mina Shirakawa away from Momoko. I mean, away from Waka. That gives time for what's her name, Koguma, to do the diving splash, body splash onto Waka. One, two, three, it's over. So, I mean, I don't know what was the purpose of this, but I thought it was pretty good. Even Stardom made it, the whatever promotion was doing this acknowledged Stardom, and I thought it was great. So it was a pretty good show. Now you can still see this match on YouTube. All you got to do is find the one that looks like an outdoor event, and you can tell from there. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on to our final review, New Blood. Cinco. Okay, our final review is New Blood 5, which is Stardom posted out. Opened up with Rhythm from Just Tap Out taking on Momokogo. The match was okay, good opener. I think it was good. Um, in the beginning of the entire thing before this match, Momo thought that, Rhythm can talk Spanish, but in reality she can't. She is a Japanese woman, so she kind of made things a little worse. But one thing, it was good. Even though Momo has less of experience, she was able to pick up a good win against Rhythm when she applied the Fisherman Suplex. One, two, three, it was good. Next up, we got Amchan, who I've followed on Twitter and also seen her before. She normally operates in the Nagano Prefecture area. She teams up with, of course, the Prodigy, Suzuki, to take on Queen's Quest, Hina, and Lady C. Now, this is one of those matches where you know that Zuzu's not gonna back down from anything. She is one tough cookie. But one thing that was cool was, of course, somehow Zuzu was able to apply the tequila shot onto Lady C. Uno, dos, tres, it was over. Amchan did her job to ensure that Zuzu picked up the win while she was dealing with Ina, and that was it. Now, our next match, we have Yuna Mizumori, formerly from Gatomu, now going freelancing, teaming up with the Cosmic Angels, where they did their dance. They take on a very unusual team up. Well, two of them they have teamed up. We're talking about Rina of Odatai along with Ram Kaicho. They team up with Linda. Now, Linda is that one girl who teamed up with Masakurai and started whipping people. So that saga continues. Even marks were on over all over the ass of Mina Shirakawa in order to do that. But the one thing that was clear, once again, Ram Kaicho, Ectoplasma Waka once again. Looks like this little feud is going on, but however, in the next New Blood, Waka decided that she's going to face her once again, but this time she's bringing in Tam Nakano to be her teammate on this one. And of course, Ram Kaicho got Maika Ozaki, someone who she has to trust in. I think that's a very interesting dynamic that's going to happen. Next up, we have Chanyota teaming up with Masakurai. Now, those who are unfamiliarized with Chanyota, I've seen her before. She works with PP Tokyo, which is a small promotion out of Tokyo, Japan. But I've seen her in Collegro Pro Wrestling, which is a promotion based out of Osaka. She had some feuds with Momoka Hanazono. But Chanyota is a bodybuilder. Um, she has her own YouTube channel. And not to make things a big fuss, I just recently found out that she was a former adult star. Yeah, folks. Chanyota actually was involved in adult films. Now I don't know for sure if she's still active, but however, she it makes sense about her body because the way she presents herself. Now this particular match was interesting because Mai Sakurai did not like how she was interacting with Rossi. Now she called Rossi a pervert because he's interacting with her, doing that. But however, Mai Sakurai, how do I say this? Underestimated Chanyota because she's not just some fitness girl that you want to mess with, that you think, oh, she doesn't know anything. No, wrong. She was pretty good. I like what she was doing in the ring. However, but it was the Mai Pan role that sealed the deal for Mai Sakurai in order to win. But Chanyota asked to team up with Mai Sakurai someday, and Mai actually agreed. So she realized how wrong she was about Chanyota, and she was realizing she was mistaken. So we'll see what happens then. Hopefully, in the next New Blood will happen. Now, our next match, which is the main event, we have Nanami from Diana teaming up with members of God's Eye, Tomoka Inaba, who is the newest member, and Mirai, one of the third member to join. It was interesting. They take on against Odatai members Ruka and Starlight Kid, but however, we wait the arrival of Aruka Umasaki, who now goes by Karma as an alter ego, something that, of course, Kid had. Now, Kid has been known to manipulate people to do what they want. She did that with, of course, with Momo Watanabe. But this match was a brutal one, a very interesting, brutal match. And I was surprised how Nanami was able to withstand everything. However, um, Karma decided to use a fireball on the eyes of Nanami, but it did put her in a chokehold, uh, costing, basically allowing for Karma and Odatai to win. And of course, she put out a fireball right in front of Kid, and Kid loves it what she's seeing. However, I don't know what in the purpose this was about. Mai Sakurai showed up, but according to what the translations are saying, I'm not talking about the YouTube translation. I'm talking about what they were saying in Twitter. Mai Sakurai declared war against Karma. But of course, Kid is making fun of her. I think she's telling her in a way like, you think you have what it takes to beat her? No. I don't know what Mai Sakurai was thinking. So she thinks like she's some sort of hero. I'm like, nah, there's no way she's gonna take on. But however, that doesn't end there. As soon as Tomoka and Mirai were leaving, Nanami calls out Suri, asking her that she wants to join God's Eye. Now, Suri asked her, how old is she? And she asked her she was 16, and she was very impressed by her. Despite the fact that she's 16, she really was happy to see what she can do in the ring. So she accepted her offer to join, and she did. So now she is the newest member of God's Eye. So that means we have Tomoka Inaba, who's not officially in the Star roster, but it's going to be good. And I'm sure Nanami will have a great mentor like Sudi to help her out a lot. So it's great for God's Eye, newest member. Now our main event, this is for the future of Stardom. Now this match was nominated by Hanan, who asked for Ami Sori to win. However, Ami Sori did pin Hanan for a shot of the title, but however, Hanan wanted this match to happen in New Blood, and that's exactly what happened. I thought this match was good. It was a great opener, but a great ending. But it did also made the end of the reign of Hanan. It was like a thunderbolt onto by Ami Sori to Hanan to allow Ami Sori to become the new future of Stardom champion. Now, this is the thing I'm questioning people. Well, this is what I mean. It turns out right now, as of today, since Hanan lost the title, Hanan is the only person right now as a future champion that has 10 consecutive defenses. So basically, if I was Ami Sori, I would try to beat out that record. So I have to say Hanan was a great champion. But who will most likely challenge for the future belt? Well, I can think Mai Sakurai is one of them. So it's Waka, Rina, Hina, Lady C, possibly Tomoka Inaba. I know she challenged for that belt too, but yeah. So we'll just wait and see what takes place. So we'll just roll with it. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's move on with our last thing, news updates. Okay, welcome to our news updates. So this is what we have. As you know, GCW will be heading to LA for Hit 'em Up. It was announced that the GCW World Title will be defended on the line. So Nick Gage, this is his first time in who knows how long he's been champion. We will defend it against none other than Leo Rush. Now that's just gonna be an interesting matchup. So I'm sure, hopefully, Leo knows what he's doing. You don't want to mess with the king of the murder kill gang. But also related to GCW, as you know, they'll be heading back to Providence for Ura. They announced a UK wrestler named Leon Slater will be making his debut, and not to mention everybody's favorite, cutest in the world, Maki Ito will be making her return on the 20th of November. So get ready for that. Now, due to some circumstances with Circle 6 for their upcoming event taking place, they put up a statement that kind of, as you know, Zachary Wentz was supposed to challenge um, for the Circle 6 World Title. This is what they said. Due to the unforeseen circumstances, Zachary Wentz will no longer be on this card Saturday at Circle 6 Everything You Couldn't Be in Houston. Details regarding the main event opponent for Atticus Cogar coming soon. So basically, we don't know what the circumstances were, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. Now, recent time, as you know, I've been covering about Keiji Mutoh retiring. It just turns out that Keiji Mutoh put out a statement saying he knows there's been wrestlers in the past that said they're going to retire, but they come back. He also said right now to ensure people he is not coming back. As you know, he had hip replacement surgery. Basically, that's what's preventing him from ever wrestling again. So he may have to do what exactly they're saying. But yeah, so we'll see what happens from there on. Now, as you know, Hangman Page received a concussion at this past Tuesday at Dynamite. This is what he had to say. Um, hey, thanks everyone for being so nice. I'm doing alright and feeling good today. Had a nice panini for lunch. Thanks to Paul, Medical, Mox, Brandon, BJ, etc. So basically, he's in good spirits. So he will not be returning back until the concussion protocol is done. So we'll see what takes place. Now, finally, as you know, speaking of Tuesday, we're gonna find out who actually got the most wins. Well, it turns out AEW, as you know, for the one time only Tuesday night, we have AEW with 752,000 views with a rate of 0.26. As for NXT, 676 with the rate of 0.18. So this is bad right there again. Once again, the same results take place with NXT. I know Triple A was trying to do what he can to avoid that, but looks like it did not happen. So better luck next time, but I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we got Impact Wrestling. I haven't decided what things I'm going to do before that, but however, there's certain things that come up. I'm going to do the best I can. I will watch Impact Wrestling when I get back from where I'm going to be. Hopefully, I see something else prior before that. But right now, I'm just going to stick what we got. So I think that's pretty much it. So I'll be seeing you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.